Rain pattered softly against the large windows of our lab, creating a symphony of natural rhythm that mirrored the pulsing excitement within the room. I stood at the precipice of a monumental breakthrough, the culmination of a decade's worth of tireless research and relentless curiosity. The Quantum Research Institute had been my second home, and today, it would become the birthplace of a discovery that could alter the very fabric of reality. "All systems are ready," I announced, my voice steady despite the torrent of anticipation surging through me. Dr. Emily Carter, our brilliant head of quantum mechanics, adjusted her glasses and gave me a brief nod. Her eyes, usually so composed, now shimmered with a blend of determination and wonder. "Let's proceed," she said, her words hanging in the air like a spell being cast. I activated the device, and the room was immediately filled with a deep, resonant hum. The quantum particles began to align, creating a stable time dilation field. The air shimmered, and for a moment, it felt as if the very essence of reality was bending to our will. A flash of light erupted from the device, and the hum settled into a low, steady vibration. My heart raced as I checked the readings. "It's stable," I breathed, scarcely believing the words myself. "The time dilation field is holding." Emily's eyes widened in amazement. "We've done it. We've actually created a stable field that can manipulate time." As the magnitude of our achievement sank in, a daring idea began to form in my mind. What if we could use this technology to travel through time? To correct the mistakes of the past and shape the future? The room fell silent as my team absorbed the implications. The power to alter history was within our grasp, but with it came the burden of immense responsibility. We all knew that even the slightest change could ripple through time, with consequences beyond our imagining. Over the following weeks, we worked tirelessly to refine our technology. We developed a prototype time travel device, a small handheld unit capable of creating a temporal portal. The device hummed with potential, a gateway to endless possibilities. I volunteered to be the first to use the device. The lab was filled with a charged silence as I prepared to step into the unknown. Holding the unit firmly, I looked at my team, each face a mix of fear and hope. "If this works, we could change the course of history," I said, my voice steady. "Let's ensure we use this power wisely." I activated the device, and a shimmering portal appeared before me. Taking a deep breath, I stepped through, the world around me dissolving into a cascade of light and sound. Emerging from the shimmering portal, I found myself standing in the midst of a bustling market square. The air was thick with the mingling scents of spices, freshly baked bread, and the earthy aroma of rain-soaked cobblestones. The year was 1628, a critical juncture in history. As I took in my surroundings, the vividness of the past unfolded before my eyes, each detail a vibrant thread in the tapestry of time. Cobblestone streets bustled with life. Merchants called out to passers-by, hawking their wares with a fervor that echoed through the square. Children darted through the crowd, their laughter mingling with the distant toll of a church bell. The air buzzed with an energy that was both exhilarating and humbling. I marveled at the vividness of it all. Here I stood, a traveler from the future, amidst a world long past. Yet, the reality of my mission weighed heavily upon me. Preventing a catastrophic event that would alter the course of history was no small task, and as I navigated the unfamiliar streets, I realized the enormity of what lay ahead. Approaching a group of townspeople gathered around a bulletin board, I scanned the notices for information. My eyes locked onto a particular notice, its words sending a shiver down my spine. Dr. William Hawke, a renowned scientist of his time, was about to conduct an experiment that would have disastrous consequences. I made my way to Dr. Hawke's laboratory, my heart pounding with urgency. The streets seemed to close in around me, each step echoing the gravity of my mission. As I approached the lab, a stern-faced guard blocked my path. "State your business," he demanded, his voice as unyielding as the iron gate behind him. "I need to speak with Dr. Hawke," I said, my voice steady but urgent. "It's a matter of great importance." The guard scrutinized me for a moment, his eyes searching mine for any hint of deception. Finally, he relented, stepping aside to allow me passage. I entered the lab, my gaze immediately drawn to the figure hunched over a workbench, surrounded by a labyrinth of beakers and arcane equipment. "Dr. Hawke," I began, my voice firm yet respectful. "My name is Alan Turner. I come from a future that is at risk because of the experiment you're about to conduct. You must stop it. Dr. Hawk looked up, his eyes narrowing with skepticism. From the future, you say? That's quite a claim. Why should I believe you? I took a deep breath, recounting the details of the impending disaster with as much clarity and urgency as I could muster. I showed him the time travel device, the shimmering portal still fresh in my memory, as proof of my story. The conversation that followed was tense, each word a tightrope walk between conviction and doubt. Slowly, I saw the skepticism in Dr. Hawk's eyes give way to a cautious belief. He agreed to abandon the experiment, and relief washed over me like a tidal wave. As I prepared to return to my own time, the enormity of what we had achieved began to sink in. We had averted a disaster, changed the course of history for the better. But this was only the beginning. There were countless more events in history that needed correction, and we had the power to make a difference. Stepping back through the portal, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. The past was a fragile web, and each thread we touched could alter the future in unimaginable ways. But with our knowledge, our technology, and our determination, we could shape a better future for humanity. Returning to the present felt like waking from a vivid dream. The familiar hum of the lab, the sterile smell of antiseptic, and the sight of my team waiting anxiously all grounded me back in reality. Yet, the weight of what we had accomplished in the past lingered heavily on my shoulders. "Welcome back," Emily said, her voice a mix of relief and excitement. "You did it." I nodded, the enormity of our success still sinking in. "Yes, but this is only the beginning. There are countless more events in history that need correction, and we must be vigilant. Each change we make can have unforeseen consequences." For the next few days, we meticulously analyzed the data from our mission. The quantum device had proven its worth, and now we had to use it judiciously. We identified several key historical events that, if altered, could lead to a significantly better future. Our next target was an industrial accident in the early 20th century, a disaster that had caused numerous deaths and extensive environmental damage. Preventing this accident could save lives and protect the environment, altering the course of history for the better. As I prepared for the next journey, the lab was abuzz with activity. Every detail had to be perfect, the stakes were too high for any mistakes. With a deep breath, I activated the device and stepped into the portal once more, ready to face the challenges of the past. Emerging from the portal, I found myself in the heart of an industrial town. The year was 1912, and the air was thick with the pungent smell of coal and sweat. The streets were teeming with workers, their faces marked with fatigue and determination. This was a world on the brink of transformation, caught between the old and the new. The factory loomed ahead, a monolithic structure of brick and steel. Its smokestacks belched black smoke into the sky, a grim reminder of the environmental toll of industrial progress. I knew that within its walls, a catastrophic accident was waiting to happen. Navigating the factory's labyrinthine corridors, I felt the oppressive heat and the acrid smell of oil. The noise was deafening, a cacophony of clanging metal and hissing steam. I found the foreman, a grizzled man with a stern expression, and explained the urgency of the situation. "You expect me to believe you're from the future," he scoffed. "That's a tall tale, even for these parts." "I know it's hard to believe," I said, showing him the time travel device. "But if you don't shut down the machinery now, an accident will happen. Lives will be lost." The foreman hesitated, doubt etched into his features, but eventually, he relented. With a loud clank, the machines ground to a halt. The factory fell silent, the air thick with tension. We had averted the disaster, but the real test would come when I returned to the present. As I stepped back through the portal, I couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and apprehension. We had made a significant change, but what ripple effects would this have on the timeline? Back in the lab, the atmosphere was tense. We had prevented the industrial accident, but the ripple effects of our actions were already becoming apparent. Small changes in the timeline were starting to manifest, each one a reminder of the delicate balance we were tampering with. Emily pored over the data, her brow furrowed with concern. "We've saved lives, but we've also changed the course of history in ways we didn't anticipate. We need to be more careful." She was right. The butterfly effect was in full swing, and even the smallest changes could have far-reaching consequences. As we reviewed the data, we noticed shifts in political alliances, advancements in technology, and even subtle changes in cultural trends. It was a stark reminder that history is not a static tapestry but a dynamic web of interconnected events. We needed to proceed with caution, ensuring that our actions would lead to a better future, not a worse one. With each mission, the stakes grew higher, and the margin for error shrank. Yet, despite the risks, we remained committed to our cause. As we prepared for our next mission, an unsettling discovery was made. Temporal rifts, anomalies in the fabric of time, were starting to appear. These rifts were a direct result of our actions, a stark reminder of the dangers of time travel. If left unchecked, these anomalies could unravel everything we had worked so hard to achieve. We knew we had to fix them, but doing so would require precision and care. The rifts were like wounds in the timeline, and each one had to be carefully mended to restore stability. Our next mission would be unlike any other. It was not just about changing history but healing it. The first rift we targeted was in Renaissance Italy, a time of great artistic and scientific advancements. The anomaly was centered around Leonardo da Vinci, whose inventions and discoveries were being altered by the rift. If left unresolved, the ripple effects could be catastrophic, affecting everything from art to technology. Stepping through the portal, I found myself in Florence, the heart of the Renaissance. The city was alive with creativity, its streets filled with artists, scholars, and merchants. The air was thick with the scent of fresh paint and the sound of lively debate. I made my way to Leonardo's workshop, a place of both chaos and brilliance. The walls were lined with sketches and prototypes, each one a testament to his genius. But something was off. The sketches were incomplete, the prototypes flawed. The rift was distorting his work, altering the course of his contributions to history. Leonardo himself was a whirlwind of energy, moving from one project to the next with barely a moment's pause. I approached him cautiously, aware of the delicate nature of my mission. "Master Leonardo," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I come with urgent news." He looked up, his piercing eyes scanning me with curiosity. "Urgent news, you say? Speak quickly, then. There is much to be done." I explained the situation, detailing the temporal rift and its impact on his work. To my surprise, he listened intently, his expression serious. "If what you say is true, then we must act swiftly. My work cannot be compromised." Together, we set to work. I guided him through the process of correcting the distortions, each step a careful dance between past and present. As we mended the rift, I marveled at his brilliance, his mind a wellspring of creativity and insight. The process was long and arduous, but finally, the rift was healed. The sketches became clear, the prototypes precise. Leonardo's work was restored, and with it, the course of history. As I prepared to return to the present, Leonardo looked at me with a mixture of gratitude and curiosity. "You have a gift, my friend. Use it wisely." Stepping back through the portal, I felt a sense of accomplishment but also a deepened awareness of the fragility of time. The rifts were a reminder that our actions had consequences, and we had to be vigilant in our efforts to protect the timeline. With each mission, we uncovered more hidden histories, stories that had been forgotten or misunderstood. Our journey through time was not just about correcting mistakes but also about uncovering the truth. Each discovery added a new layer to our understanding of history, a tapestry of lives and events interwoven through time. Our next mission took us to ancient Egypt, a land of pharaohs and pyramids, where an undiscovered tomb held secrets that could change our understanding of history. The tomb belonged to a forgotten queen, her story lost to the sands of time. The rift had distorted her legacy, erasing her contributions and achievements. Emerging from the portal, I found myself in the midst of the desert, the sun blazing overhead. The pyramids loomed in the distance, their ancient stones whispering secrets of the past. I made my way to the excavation site, where archaeologists were puzzled by the anomalies they had uncovered. The tomb was a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, each one filled with hieroglyphs and artifacts. The air was thick with the scent of sand and stone, a reminder of the millennia that had passed. As I navigated the maze, I felt a sense of awe and reverence for the ancient world. In the heart of the tomb, I found the Queen's sarcophagus, its inscriptions faded and incomplete. The rift had distorted her story, erasing her from history. With the help of the archaeologists, I began the painstaking process of restoring the inscriptions, piece by piece. As the hieroglyphs took shape, a story of courage and leadership emerged. The Queen had been a visionary, her reign marked by peace and prosperity. Her contributions to art, science, and culture were immense, and yet she had been forgotten. Restoring her legacy was a labor of love, each stroke of the chisel a tribute to her memory. As we completed the restoration, the rift began to close, the timeline healing itself. The Queen's story was once again part of history, her legacy restored. Stepping back through the portal, I felt a profound sense of connection to the past. Each mission was a reminder of the intricate web of history, a tapestry woven from countless lives and stories. Our journey was far from over, but with each step, we were uncovering the hidden histories that shaped our world. The stakes grew higher with each mission. Our actions were having a cumulative effect, and the timeline was becoming increasingly fragile. We knew that we had to act quickly to prevent a looming catastrophe, a disaster that could undo all our work. Our next mission took us to the heart of the 19th century, a time of great upheaval and change. The rift was centered around a pivotal moment in the Industrial Revolution, a strike that had the potential to alter the course of history. Emerging from the portal, I found myself in a bustling industrial city, the air thick with smoke and the sound of machinery. The streets were filled with workers, their faces marked with determination and resolve. The strike was at a critical juncture, tensions high and the outcome uncertain. Navigating the city, I made my way to the leaders of the strike, a group of passionate and determined individuals. They were fighting for better working conditions and fair wages, their struggle a testament to the human spirit. I explained the situation, detailing the rift and its impact on their cause. To my relief, they listened, their faces reflecting both hope and apprehension. Together, we worked to mend the rift, ensuring that their efforts would lead to a better future. The process was fraught with danger and uncertainty, each step a race against time. But with determination and resolve, we succeeded. The strike ended in victory, the workers' demands met, and the course of history restored. Stepping back through the portal, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. Our journey was a race against time, each mission a desperate bid to set things right. The pressure was immense, but we remained focused, driven by the knowledge that the future depended on our success. The final mission was the most critical. We had identified a pivotal event, a moment in history that would shape the future in profound ways. Correcting it would require all our skill and knowledge, and the consequences of failure were too dire to contemplate. Our target was the assassination of a key political figure, an event that had led to a cascade of violence and unrest. Preventing this assassination would alter the course of history, paving the way for peace and stability. Emerging from the portal, I found myself in a city on the brink of chaos. The air was thick with tension, the streets filled with protesters and police. The target was a charismatic leader, a beacon of hope in a time of darkness. Navigating the city, I made my way to the leader's headquarters, a fortress of determination and resolve. I explained the situation, detailing the rift and its impact on their cause. To my relief, they listened, their faces reflecting both hope and apprehension. Together, we devised a plan to protect the leader and prevent the assassination. The process was fraught with danger and uncertainty, each step a delicate dance between past and present. But with determination and resolve, we succeeded. The assassination was prevented, the leader's life saved, and the course of history altered. The city breathed a sigh of relief, the tension easing as hope and stability returned. Stepping back through the portal, I felt a sense of accomplishment but also a deepened awareness of the fragility of time. Each mission was a reminder of the delicate balance we were tampering with, and the responsibility we bore to protect the timeline. With the timeline stabilized, we returned to the present. The world was a different place, shaped by our actions. It was a better world, one where the mistakes of the past had been corrected and the future was filled with hope. As I stood in the lab, surrounded by my team, I felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. We had done it. We had changed the course of history and created a better future. But the journey was far from over. The past is a vast and complex tapestry, and there are always new threads to explore. With our knowledge, our technology, and our determination, we would continue to shape the future, one moment at a time.